Okay, I'm ready to sell my house. Now what? What do I do next? What's the next step? Well, we're going to clear that up for you. We're going to help you figure out where to spend your time and money to get your house ready for the market, and so you're getting top dollar in the shortest amount of time possible. Okay, so getting your house ready to sell. Probably one of the most prominent sections of the listing process when we're talking to sellers about getting their house ready. We get a lot of questions about this. It's not easy to get your house ready to sell.
No.
So I brought our top real estate advisor, Corrine Campbell. Thank you for coming. And she's going to talk a little bit about getting your house ready to sell, what buyers are looking for, and some of the things that you can do to get yourself ahead of the game. So come the first day on market, you've putting your best foot forward with your house. So there's some things you really should focus on. So let's jump right into it. The first and most important thing that you need to understand about when you get your house ready to sell is it's an emotional thing for people. It's obviously the numbers need to work, but when someone walks into your home, the first thing they feel will dictate how that showing is going to go. So the point we're trying to hammer home is positive vibes.
Absolutely.
We need to make sure that the house is presenting that positive vibe, good emotions, and everything else flows a little bit better when someone feels good about when they walk into your house. So Corrine, let's talk a little bit about that. What are some things that you think about and tell people when you're meeting with them about getting their house ready to put on the market?
Sure. So really creating an inviting environment. When somebody first opens the door, one of the things would be a smell, right? You don't want something that looks like you put 15 Yankee candles in the living room to cover up something. But you also don't necessarily want nothing, because smells people can relate to. It's an emotional experience as well. So smell is a big one that we talk about often. The other thing is lighting. People love natural light, right? We live in East Tennessee. We have beautiful days. They want to see that light coming in. So if you have curtains that are blocking a beautiful window, we absolutely suggest let's get those moved back. Let's let that light in so they can feel very good when they walk in the door. One of the other things is creating a space where they can actually see, how am I going to use the space? Can I put a couch here? Can I put a table here? So if you have taken out any large furniture items that you might have had, and we can store those in other places, just to create something that flows and is welcoming, gives them the idea, hey, I could have people over, we could entertain, this is great for my kids. We certainly advise you to do that as well.
Right. Obviously clean, decluttered. When someone walks in, you want them to not feel overwhelmed or anxious. It should be a very inviting space, and all of those things help for that. You put it best, Corrine, when you said the goal for your house is to make it so great that buyers want to fight over it when they come to see it.
You want them to fight from start to finish. So you want them to fight at the beginning when they're putting in their offer, but then also fighting every step of the way with every, benchmark that you have to hit along the process. You want them to be committed to your home.
Right. Okay. So that's all pretty straightforward and makes a lot of sense. So the next question we usually get from folks is, how do I do that? I mean, I get all of those things. Maybe there's a little bit more that home buyer or home seller needs to do to their home to get it ready.
Absolutely.
So they come to you and say, all right, Corrine, I've got this much money to spend, on some things. This is a situation where this home seller is looking to get as much money as possible for the house. So they're like, I want to do everything that I can within my budget, but I don't have unlimited amounts of money to do this. What are some things I should be spending money on so I can get my house ready for you?
Sure. We see the greatest return in bathrooms and kitchens and in flooring and in paint. And mainly because those are the spaces that your buyer are going to use on a daily basis. That is something they don't want to take on a big project for. So if you can even do minor changes to those things, even if it's just painting, a fresh coat of paint, maybe changing the shower curtain to something that's more neutral, just minor things. Maybe there's carpet that needs to be pulled up and replaced with just fresh carpet if you're not even wanting to do a hardwood floor. So minor things like that go a long way in value and getting a return on that.
And there's varying levels of that depending on the condition of your home or what you're trying to do or what your budget is too. Sometimes a coat of paint can go a long way.
Absolutely.
Just changing to neutral paint colors can do worlds for your home value and how fast you can get it sold. But these small little things and focusing on that and having somebody like you, an expert, come in can make sure that you're not wasting money on things that don't necessarily bring that same vibe that you would if you were to renovate a bathroom or change out a vanity or something like that. So,
sure.
All good stuff there. So, okay, so let's talk about something else that's important in the getting your house ready to sell, and that's the photos, right?
Absolutely.
So listing photos are, and the statistics back this up, are the most important part of your listing when it goes on the market. How your property looks is crucial, because when you put your house out there and it's on the internet or on the MLS, the job of that listing is to get basically the foot in the door for that buyer. Basically, like, give them a little bit of a preview of what that house is like, and it gets them to the house. The listing and the marketing get people to the house. Then the house will sell itself when it gets there, especially if you've got that really good positive vibe that we talked about. So listing photos are the most important and crucial part of that. So some things for listing photos. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So it's just like when you're shopping for anything else. When you see that photo, that drives you to get out of your house, get in your car, and go look at that item. So think of your house as the same way. In today's market, everything is online. So you want the best curb appeal possible when they pull up that photo to look at your house. So that could just mean as easy as getting some landscaping cleaned up. If you're not up for doing that, we of course have resources that can help you with that. But mulch and cleaning up your flower beds, it goes just a long way. Mm-hmm. And it's worth the time and effort to put into that, because that photo with that nice mulch is going to pop. And with our professional photographer that we use, you really can't go wrong, and it is not money and time wasted.
Right. And so that's a key component of this, professional photographer too. If you're working with an agent, make sure that they're using a professional photographer. I understand that phones these days are pretty high powered and can do a good job, but when you get a professional photographer, they understand angles and lighting, and make sure that they're presenting your house the best way possible. And, even just for these shoots, like cleaning countertops off, creating that sense of space, depersonalizing the house for the photos, crucially important. Granted, you can't live like that. You still have to live in your house more times than not. But if you just get that house ready for those photos for that day and just take everything down, it's more money in your pocket more than
absolutely.
Likely. And if you own a vacant home, staging is highly recommended if you can afford it too, because a staged home statistically sells better and for more money than a vacant home, because people can then sense, okay, this is where a couch would go. This is where a TV would go. This is where a nightstand would go, the bed. All of those things help people create that sense of, all right, these are where things will go in this room, and it helps tremendously. So
yes.
We always recommend staging as well.
Yes.
I'll leave you with this. If you're in the greater Knoxville area, you need to call Corrine. She's a master at getting these houses ready for sale, and that yields more money in your pocket. We have tremendous amount of resources at HMG to make sure that you are getting the top dollar in the shortest period of time possible. Thank you, Corrine.
Yes. Thank you.